is going
Uh,
around getting targets names and social security numbers, and like her and her children who are not his,
mhm.
and a lot of people that she's found out were targets. He's been buying property and all kinds of taking out insurance on them and all kinds of stuff like this. What do you call it? Trust funds,
Really?
taking out trust funds. Yeah, yeah. You go into her. She does an interview on YouTube with Ramola,
Yeah.
and I think Karen Stewart's in that too. And
Really?
she was telling him what her husband, I don't know which one it is, but I know Midge Mathis is on one of them. And she was saying how her husband and this group of people he belongs to are all doing this with targets. And how she found out is that she became very wealthy in her own right. She had $1 million home. She had another home, and I guess her husband wiped him out, took him away. And she had trust funds, she had all kinds of stuff, and he just walked in and took it away. And then she started, I guess she has a talent for research,
Yes.
and she started researching what her husband was up to, and she found out that he was taking out trust funds and all this kind of stuff on targets. So
Really?
then yeah, then she put out an offer to other targets to teach them how to do the research that she's doing, because evidently she has this very clever talent of doing research and finding out information. So I offered, I volunteered and went nowhere for some reason. And then up pops this Christy Farrell,
All right. How do you spell that? Christy with a C
C
or a
H C H R I S T I dot Farrell, Ferrell, at yahoo.com. Oh, it's 1987 after Farrell. And she says, don't forget the dot. But, I got an email through to her without the dot. So try both
1987
at
dot com
yahoo.com.
at
Yeah.
Yahoo.
So anyway, she taught Christy how to do this research.
Okay.
And Christy said that she got this list,
Morning Angel.
and it was all about targets and a lot of targets. She says she won't give out the list, but if you want to find out if your name is on there, email her and she'll tell you. Well, I emailed, and like I said, she asked me for my maiden name and I refused. I told her to send me the list. I have a right to it.
Hmm.
My name's on it. I have a right to it. So I haven't received a letter back, but do go into YouTube and listen to that video. Midge Mathis goes into deep detail about what her husband was doing, how he
Wow.
brutalized her, but also all the stuff he was stealing and setting up his trust funds and insurance policies. And I guess she's got a couple of kids, 3 kids, and I
Wow.
guess he took out insurance policies on them, trust funds on them. She found a list that had Karen Stewart's name on it, that Karen Stewart was buying some property in her social security number.
Really?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, Jesus. The Internal Revenue Service. The Revenue Service should be called to investigate.
Well, I think it's a wonderful idea.
Yeah.
So this is what he's doing. I guess he's got big bucks, and um, I guess he hired some people to really do. Well, the same with Linda Costanzo and her uh, husband's partner after he died. She wanted her fair marriage share, and I guess the partner went after her and he gave her a concussion. I mean, he did a lot of brutal damage to her and he wiped her out.
Really?
You didn't know that about Linda?
No, she never really told me the full story on.
That's why she's isolated. I think she's living on a mountain somewhere
Yeah.
by herself. That's what happened to her. She had a guy in to fix something and she was up on a ladder and he knocked her off the ladder.
Hmm.
Gave her a concussion. This was the last time. Ask her about it.
Yeah.
You're good friends with her, right?
Not really good friends. I mean, her call comes after mine, and yeah, we're friends. Yeah, we're good. From my end to her end, we're good friends. I don't know how
Yeah,
she
well,
feels about
talk
that.
to her about it. She'll tell you
Yeah,
about it.
she
She's
told
been
me about.
brutalized too.
Yeah.
She's been really maimed. Same with Midge.
Hmm.
Well, I have been too. So there's a lot of women out here that have been really brutalized by this. They don't talk about it, but I've had a concussion, I've had my ankle broken, you know. I had a lobotomy. They drilled a hole in the left side of my eye, right behind my eyebrow. And from
Yeah.
what I understand, that's the area of higher thinking.
Yeah.
And they drilled a hole right in it several times.
They usually go up through your nose for that.
No, went right through the back of my eyebrow. I still got a hole there. You can drop your finger in it. Oh, got a lot of damage to me physically. Burnt my hair off my head. That's why TI should drink a lot of water
Yeah.
because frequencies dry out your body.
Okay. Makes sense
They,
to me.
it does. It does terrible things to your skin. It dries out your hair, dries out your eyeballs, dries out your ears. These frequencies are all drying, take the moisture right out of your body. So, anyway, you might want to look that up on YouTube and go check it out. She did several, but I don't know really which one, and I should go and listen to it again.
Okay, I did some. If you can send me that link, that'd be great. And uh, I don't have that one. Uh, as far as research goes, I learned that Lockheed Martin is responsible for all our intercontinental ballistic missiles, and they're responsible for a lot more.
Oh, I bet.
Lockheed Martin seems to be the central nervous system for the technical community. Lockheed Martin and DARPA. Worth and Grumman.
Norfolk and Grumman, yeah.
Yep, they're also involved. But it seems like these fighter people that build fighters for us are the ones that are involved.
Do you go
And
in? Well, of course they are. They're the ones that they're they're practicing on the population with
yeah,
these new directed energy weapons.
okay, and I got from Renee Pittman's site. Renee Pittman, Mind
Yeah.
Control Technology. She's got all her books listed. And I think there's 6 there. There's 9, 12, 15, 18, 21. She's got a lot of different books. They just keep on going. But, she's got a mind control forum, Yahoo group,
Right.
plus
That's the one I used
30-year
to go to. Yeah.
Canadian activist Eleanor White. She's in here.
Oh,
Uh,
yeah.
she's
I
just
talk to
written
her
about,
once in a while.
yeah, she's just written about the Cuba incident. And could sonic weapons destroy health and become a covertly beamed death sentence? And the answer is yes. They've already explained that many times. A year ago, I saw a demonstration where they actually hit a button and knocked a person down with this device. So this is not something to be taken lightly. Let me see
They
what.
do it to me all the time.
Yeah,
Listen, I got a quick question. Do
sure.
you get the email about contracts from DARPA?
I did get mail from DARPA all the time, but I haven't gotten any as of late. So I'll have to go find out why. What would
Have
you
you
find?
gotten the one on contracts?
Yeah?
Oh, you do. Okay.
No, I don't. I don't have one on contracts.
Oh, I'll forward it to you.
Okay, thank you.
I don't read it every day, but I do try to peruse it and see, because there's some interesting stuff in there. Every once in a while they mention directed energy weapons and who they're contracting to.
Okay, there's a company called Aventura Radar Surveillance, and this is up for grabs by anybody. It came under the umbrella of mind control, but they have cross-platform perimeter surveillance, optional integration with Vantage, unlimited number of sensors, automatic PTZ queuing, web,
What's that?
and I have to find that out. PTZ has something to do with the Vantage, which is VMS. Web and IP-based control interface, fully unattended operation, automatic alerts via SMS and email, analog and IP camera compatibility, fast and easy topology configuration, full database of detection, and inclusion exclusion areas, reduced false alarms, easy customization. But all this breaks down into radar surveillance system. So, and it says easy customization. So this came under the heading of ground-based radar systems detect vehicle, people, and drones. Okay, I'm seeing the advent of drones, and it says that there are 10,000 drones with a plan to add many more.
Wow.
So, ground-based air surveillance radars by Lockheed. I just looked that up. Oh yeah, unbelievable. This is a good site. I'll post all these sites in the chat. This one is definitely a good one. And Lockheed Martin seems to be behind a lot of it.
Not surprised.
Okay, that's going into the chat. It's in there. Okay, let me see what else I found there. There's the FLIR systems.
Right.
Ranger R5 perimeter surveillance radar provides accurate high-resolution detection of vehicles and personnel.
They're up in Canada now.
Are they?
Yeah, they used to be in the United States, and then they moved to Canada. They were under another name, and I guess Fleur bought them out, and now it's the whole thing. They wanted me to go to school to become a technician,
Okay.
for infrared,
All right.
like for manufacturing
Right.
and stuff like that. But I think they wanted $1,000 or something.
Okay. Here's another site I found: ground-based sense and avoid radar system. So this must be some type of blocking system,
Ooh, post that.
which is interesting. I'll put this one in the
Hey,
chat too.
hey, Frank, it's Angel. How's it going, everybody? I didn't see your last link that you put up. It didn't appear for me.
Okay, I can put that
I
one
don't know
up
why.
again. It's probably since I didn't drag the chat window out. Can you see it now?
Uh, no, I'm looking at it, and okay, now it came up. Okay, the Lockheed Martin one. Yep.
Yeah, I got that one. There's the second one.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, they're really intense in this stuff. I had no idea they were this intense
Ooh, Lockheed Martin.
in what they're doing.
Oh yeah, I'm not surprised.
And
I think it billions of dollars of a budget. I mean, the military is the sky's the limit for them. They don't care. They're going everywhere with this.
yeah, I agree.
Crazy people. Meanwhile, they're taking what school lunches away from poor kids.
They are.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
When did they start that?
Well, I don't know, but I just read an article about it. They will this guy wanted to stop school lunches for poor kids.
Wow.
Don't give a shit.
You know what, though? I read somewhere where one entire school district provides free lunch for all its students. They don't
Yeah,
charge
good.
or anything. So I think that there's both sides going on, you know.
Yeah, well, people are
Um,
starting to react to this, and that's why.
exactly, yeah, yeah.
Just because they do it in DC doesn't mean we have to do it,
Mm-hmm. I agree with you 100% there.
you know.
I hate feeling like I'm a an experiment, you know. And that's what I feel like.
Oh, tell me, Angel. Tell me. Tell me all about it. You know, the guys in my town, the local police, the guy across the street from where I used to live, he installs video and audio, commercial and houses, audio and video systems, right? He used to have this device. I don't know what it was, but it would blow a cannonball of acoustic. Some of them were the size of golf balls, and other ones were the size of a good sized cannonball. And he used to blow them right through my house. He used to hit me with them all the time. And he taught his two teenage boys how to do this too. And they used to go after me, especially in the morning. That's how I woke up, was getting this cannonball of air, compressed acoustic, uh, right through my bed, and it would go through my house. It would go through the soil because I lived in a basement apartment, and it would hit my neighbor's house, and that's how they flipped him.
That's
'Cause
usually that stuff usually blows out windows and stuff. It's not the type of that's actually a kinetic weapon. When they talk about kinetic weapons being dropped on North Korea, this is
yeah.
this is what it is.
Well, that's what he was using. That's what he developed. So anyway, I complained to the police about this, right?
Yeah.
Well, the cops didn't do anything for me. You know what the cops did? They wanted to find out what he was using. The cops in this town are totally corrupt. And I had one of them tell me, well, he wasn't responsible. It wasn't him. And I said, yeah, but you know about it, so you're complicit. You're part of it. If you know about it, you don't speak out, you're part of it. But anyway, the guy next door, Paul Donovan was his name, he kept getting hit. He went outside and started yelling at the guy up the street to stop. This happened twice. And then after that, he started making friends with my perp across the street, and then he became part of it. He started pulsing me, and then his son just last January got on the Peabody Police Department. So what's that tell you?
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah, matter of fact, he was standing outside, and I was trimming the bushes next to his property, and he came outside, and I says to him, Paul, how does it feel? What do you think when you get hit with being pulsed, or when they hit me and it goes through and it hits you? Boy, did he get mad.
Yeah.
The look on his face was one of severe anger. And because when I said to him, hey, Paul, come here. And he started walking toward me. And then I started asking him the question. And then he got really, really mad and turned around and walked away. Wouldn't answer me.
Yeah.
That's how they got all the neighbors to flip. They would specify, like, one of the women's a born again Christian. So they went to her and told her I was a atheist. That immediately right there, I was enemy. Same with the Knights of Columbus Christian guy.
Yeah.
I was an atheist. I was the bad guy. Then the other guy, the other girl was a Jewish girl. Now, I was raised partially in a Jewish neighborhood and never had any animosity toward Jews in my life. And
Right.
they twisted it so that she turned around and hated my guts. So they did it to every single person in my neighborhood. It took them 10 years to do it, if not more, but they turned everybody against me.
Yeah. Well, some people that are experiencing this, when they have somebody else give an account, it makes them angry because they're in denial. They don't want to hear about it, that it happened. So that's.
Oh no, they all took part of it. They all got weapons. They all got directed energy weapons, and they all used them at different specific times on me. Especially when they came home from work, they'd drive down the street, turn it on, and then hit me as they went by, or when they left for work in the morning.
Yeah.
Even the Christian evangelical, her name was Linda Christ. I was in the backyard, and she was aiming it toward my window, and I was behind the fence, and I was getting hit. So I poked my head out the gate, and I watched her as she drove by and pulled into her driveway across the street, and she hustled her ass in the house, but she was hitting me. I knew,
Yeah.
I saw it come from her car and hit me, There's no doubt.
We have, just to get back to topic, we have 30,000 drones approved for U.S. skies. Drone, high-tech, psychotronic, mind invasive technology, psychological, electronic.
Isn't Amazon
Weapons.
doing some of this?
That was a company that guy was working for as security. And there are, I guess they want more. And they're using the 40 footers, as I call them, the large drones. So if
Wow.
you see one, you won't mistake it for anything else. They
It
are massive.
delivering packages. Is that what they're doing?
They're delivering mind control.
Amazon?
Not Amazon, no. Amazon is just the company that Brian Coffrin worked for. Uh, Amazon is just the company that all these people were working for, as far as I know. Unless you
I
can
thought
I
they
know
prove
were
about
different.
using
Amazon.
drones
I
to
know
deliver
about Amazon.
packages.
I ordered from Amazon.
Yeah.
I ordered from Amazon. Amazon is just the word Amazon. They have people working for them to get your
Oh.
orders. But the company itself doesn't know the other companies. They come in, they probably sign a paper, and Amazon puts it up on the screen. This company, that company. If you want a screwdriver, okay, here's the companies that have one. Pick one. Everybody thinks Amazon has its. You buy stuff from Amazon. Period. You don't. You
That's
don't buy
right.
it from Amazon. They sponsor other companies in their company that you could use. So let's get that right. And Brian Kaufman is crazy. He didn't even
Yep.
work for Amazon. So
Well,
get
I'm
that
just
out.
going by what he said.
I deal with Amazon.
SIS.
I know it.
So how do
SIS.
you
I know it.
how do you know? How do you find out who has the drones or not?
I'm sending a lot of links to you right now. So there's 30,000 going over our homes on a daily basis,
Oh, wonderful.
and they have.
I never seen a drone.
I've never seen one either. Never.
So then there can't be a lot of them. And in New York State, this is our rule. If some drone goes over your house, you can shoot it down.
Well, you might have trouble with these. They're pretty big.
Pretty high
How big?
too.
How big?
I call them 40-footers. They're at least 40 feet long, if not more.
I have never seen these.
Yeah, and there's smaller ones too that are actually turbine. They have jets in them.
Is this the ones like you buy in the store
No,
at Toys R Us? They're
No.
big, but
no. They
they're
have
like $400.
they have like a 15-foot wingspan or more, and I think
Yeah.
they're about 14 or 15 feet long.
Because my friend has a drone, and he's in his late 50s. Gets anything he wants, and he plays with it all the time.
Yeah.
Well, I had one, but I had to take it back because I was running low for the month on money. So, and the darn thing cost $200, so I returned it because couldn't afford it.
Yeah, his was like $499.
Yeah,
friend.
this one was.
And he has a good time with it. Where he lives.
It was a blast.
Yeah,
It was a total blast.
I'm sure it was.
So then it's kids or, older men have nothing to do. They want to buy this stuff. I really never seen no 15-foot span of drone. I would definitely call the police if I seen a big-ass drone like that.
That's military, Susan. Commercial. That's not like you'd find in the store.
Yeah, have you ever seen one like that? A gigantic?
Well, I've seen pictures of them. Military ones. You can see them on the net. Go search. You'll see pictures of them with people fixing them and stuff like that.
But that doesn't mean they're flying them around neighborhoods.
Well, I saw one that was big. And it looked like just this round, bright dot up in the sky. But it wasn't beyond the moon. It was between the moon and the planet, Earth. And I saw it moving up and down.
Yeah, but if you couldn't see it and it was like a dot, why do you say it's a drone?
Well, because satellites don't do that. Satellites are up beyond the moon, I think. Or they're pretty high up. And satellites don't move up and down like that. That's why I say a drone. It's the only reason.
Yeah, you can't see a satellite.
Right.
I have very expensive. My kids got it for me years and years ago. It's a telescope.
Yeah.
It's a professional one. That's why I have to watch when I'm tired. I won't go near this thing. You still can't see all the way up
Right.
into the, and you got to watch out because if you go use it in the daytime, you could blind yourself. But if you don't get your drones, if you don't know, if you didn't see it, it's a drone. You can't say it's a drone.
Well, this had to be one because it couldn't have been a plane. It was stationary.
Hold on, Barbara. I got a call.
Okay, instead of
Hold on.
personal accounts, we want to get into why we have these personal accounts. So that brings on the research. So if you click on the link, it's the end of it is bigbrother.blog, if you can get to it.
Being rude. That was my daughter. I was so rude.
There's a lot of stuff on drones. Drones, law enforcement secret, 30,000 drones. This is all Renee Pittman. Now, we should do a lot of focus on Renee Pittman and her books because she is very high profile and very much well informed, very well informed. So much so that she has been haunted by law enforcement. She has been targeted to death almost. I've been on the phone with her when she was just about ready to cash in.
Yeah.
And
Then you've done that.
yeah.
Well, what did she do?
She
Did
was
say what? Why
Myron.
they doing this?
I believe she was Myron May's boyfriend. Or they were together, put it that way.
Renee is a boy.
No. Renee Pittman was Myron May's boyfriend, I believe.
So Renee is a boy.
Yeah, Myron
No,
Pittman.
he's not gay.
Myron May?
Yeah, he wasn't gay, was he?
No, he was with Renee Pittman. That's what I was trying to say.
That's a girl. Is
Yeah.
that a girl?
Renee. Yeah.
Okay, so then, all right, so he wasn't gay. I never thought he was anyway.
Is my voice coming through clearly or is it garbled?
Nope, it's clear.
Okay.
Well, I thought
It just
you said that
garbled, but it
Renee
was
Pittman
clear
was the
before.
guy.
Okay.
It sounded like that, Frank, but go ahead. What were you going to say after?
So on my other phone, once I pull it up, I have a lot of information that didn't get transferred from iBooks, and I have the total Myron May transcript.
Oh, I want to see that.
Yeah. So I'll have to go on my other phone to grab it.
Talk about a Manchurian candidate.
Yeah.
Him and Aaron Alexis.
Mm-hmm.
There's a
both-
bunch of other
I've been on one of
videos.
Renee Pittman's blogs. She does bring up some interesting points.
I've never been there.
Yeah, she's very good. Very, very, very good. You can try that one link takes you into the drone section. I'm just concentrating on this drone thing for a few minutes because I went from ground-based radar into they're stepping on my head. Lockheed Martin. And the stuff that Lockheed Martin controls amazed me. Like I said, ICBMs are all Lockheed Martin. So and all of this mind control stuff, as far as the government goes, is all Lockheed Martin. And she comes up with sources. Every one of her sources is .mil. So that's military, that's the government. So if you see anything on .mil, it's the gospel for sure. And she's got article links here too. All of her information is supported.
So she's getting
Oh,
targeted
yes.
because of Myrie May.
Yeah,
That's how she started.
I think so.
Really?
She's a black
But
girl
she's,
from the. I want to. I feel like saying New York, but I know it's not New York. She was in the New England area. I know that because she was at near the White House with Robert Kennedy as a little girl. There's a picture of her standing next to Robert Kennedy's car, and he reached out and shook her hand. I think I need more coffee. Pour it in my vocal cords or something. I'm tied in knots this morning.
but yeah, she does bring up a lot of issues like this drone one and other stuff. In her blogs, which are pretty informative.
How come we don't see
Especially
him?
if you're trying to research mind control. Which
Frank.
one?
How come we don't see him?
The blogs?
No, the drones. These are big suckers by
I
the looks.
I don't know. I just opened up the article. I think they're up high, but you know what? To me, if they're up really high, and the only way they can be accurate is one, by their sensors, and also by ground-based radar locating us and identifying it. You know, kind of like when the military points a laser at something, so the airstrike can hit it properly.
Right.
If not, it wouldn't be as accurate as it is. So we got to be identified from both places. If it's coming from here, not for everyone, but for some, because they are doing tests. So some people might have the drones on them. Other people like me, and you know, like some other people on the phone said, yeah, they still
Hey, Frank.
Yes.
Who's
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning, Ashley.
Did I send you an email about the Buckaroo blog where Lockheed Martin had come, and also the SWAT came and they had a $30,000 drone, and then the Lockheed Martin put on a laser light show, and I was disturbed by it, but I was the only one disturbed. Did you look at those pictures?
Yeah, I think I emailed you back on those.
Oh, I didn't see it yet. I'm sorry.
You know what I didn't like? I didn't like the pyrotechnics that they used.
I didn't like the lasers and the fact it was Lockheed Martin shooting lasers and smoke, dropping chemtrails on the crowd, basically. That was my interpretation of it. Dropping chemtrails and then zapping lasers.
Yeah, laser light shows are actually pretty harmless.
I'm just saying it was the symbolism to me, it was Lockheed Martin. Like, oh.
Yeah,
you know,
I know.
What if somebody in that classroom, one of those kids ends up targeted not long from now, and they'll think back to that, and you know, that's not right.
No, none of it is. But the fact that they came to the school, I mean, this group could have been totally different from the group that researches all this other stuff. I know they represent Lockheed Martin, but
we live right down the road from Lockheed Martin, and they make.
Okay.
They make stuff you have to. They make primers and some stuff for some heat-seeking missiles, and God only knows what else.
Yeah.
There used to be an Aerojet, a Raytheon. What else was out there? Amber, Lockheed Martin.
Okay, I'm gonna grab some coffee, and I'll be right back in about 5-10 minutes, or less. Probably less. But yeah, talk amongst yourselves. Have fun. I'll be right back.
Sure.
Susan.
Yep.
Did you hear about the list?
Go ahead, tell me. I didn't really hear it on the phone.
Okay, Cheryl, Christy Farrell. Christy.Farrell 1987 at yahoo.com. I heard she had a list of targets. So I emailed her and I asked her for the list, and she refused. She said it was for privacy concerns. But she asked me my maiden name, and I wouldn't give it to her. And I told her I wanted to know, I wanted her to send me the list. Because she said she had a list of targets. Now Frank said that he thinks that she's developing this list. She doesn't have this list.
I know the government.
Yeah,
has
it sounds like that to me for a class action suit is what I tie that name to an email that I have, Barbara.
Really?
Yeah.
So you think
Yeah, I
she's
just got an email
developing
yesterday.
it? You think
Yeah,
she's
could be. I
developing?
wouldn't. Why would don't give her
I-
personal information? I think that's a bad thing. Ask her
I
how
think-
she got the list.
Because she and Karen.
No, she's putting it together.
Well, she looked people up on the list and she was like, hang on, it's like 300 pages long or 600 pages long. And she was having to scroll, like by the letter. She's like B, C, looking up names. And she and Karen apparently have been working on it together. But she's the one talking to everybody.
So she's developing a list, or she has a list?
I'm not very clear about the list either, but she has a list because she was looking people's names up that night on the call. I was actually going to ask a question and just get information about the other point that she talked about because I can't remember what it was now. I had missed all the part about the list, and when she answered, she was like, okay, what's your last name? And I told her, and she looked it up, and then I got her email, and she said, we're doing a class action lawsuit. It's not first names. It goes by your maiden name. And
Right. Well, I ain't giving nobody my maiden.
yeah,
First of all,
yeah,
do you know how many
right.
people have your name? A lot of
A lot.
people have your name, has the same
Correct.
name. Okay, so she didn't give her your social security and your
No.
present address. There is no way she can. This is bogus.
She didn't.
There's no
she
way.
wasn't saying that it was us. She did say that it's just last names, and so there's no way for you to know that just because you have that last name is that it's talking about you yet. They're still trying to go through the channels to. This was all on some government, where the government contractors are having to show. I guess this is all documented too. We just don't know where to look, and they have to show these contractors that are contracted for the government have to show paperwork for whatever. And so Karen, I guess, stumbled upon some of this one day and figured out that one of them was a long list of targets, and they're trying to find where this leads to, where they can get the actual names, first names, and of who these people exactly are.
Oh, well, that's good. Let them keep, doing it.
Yes, ma'am.
Let them create a list. I
I
wouldn't be giving them any personal information if I was you. I mean, that's no
She
good.
didn't ask me for any personal information.
Yeah,
I mean,
so
I don't
then
have a
let
maiden name. I don't have a maiden name because I've never been married. So that was the only question, just my last name.
Well, she asked me my maiden name, and
I'm not gonna send her any
wouldn't
money.
I heard she wants to combine it with Spencer Carter's efforts. So, I mean, if you're keeping in touch with him and you want to know kind of what's going on with that case, just reach out to him directly if you can,
Spencer
but
Carter,
that's
you talking
what
about
I
that
got
guy?
out of the email.
Are you talking about that guy again? Kaufman? Is that
No,
Spencer?
Spencer
No,
Carter.
Carter.
Carter's trying to be in charge of a class action
He's talking about
lawsuit.
Brian
He's been
Hoffman.
putting in a lot of work.
Right.
Oh, class action again. All right.
Uh-huh.
We had a lot of them years ago. Remember, Barbara?
Yep.
Send
Every
the money,
Time you
Y'all
turn it around, yeah.
every time you got something from Derek, it was another class action. Hey, then there was a time when I joined. I just missed the big lawsuit. Everybody sent him. He accumulated almost $5,000, and I took it to a lawyer. He claims, and the lawyer said he'd take the case and took the money and ran. That was another one. So these class action lawsuits, we did a lot of research on them, and they're stupid. Who are you suing? The government? Who are you suing? Oh, the government's going to say, okay, let's just give them money.
You got to have a name.
You got to, first of all, we came to the conclusion that it's so stupid, you can't sue the government. Look that one up. You can't sue the government because you're going to lose. You don't sue the government.
You got to have
You
a
gotta have the names
specific name,
of your,
yeah.
you know what you can do, they came to the conclusion years ago, was people from my neck of the woods, Long Island, get together with a lawyer and maybe you can sue for not helping. Like, where's the help? but you do have to have the names of your perpetrators, and I really, they came to another conclusion. Everybody should do it themselves.
Just
Oh,
like I was targeted by Eastman Gelatin, and I got the name of the CEO, and that's who I put on my case in court. You've got to get a name of the company or an employee. I didn't know the name of the guy that was targeting me at the time, so I just used the company. He worked for Eastman Gelatin. His name was Scott Burns, I found out later. I would have put him on there, but I didn't know it at the time.
yeah, you got to have some evidence, and you can't sue the government because it ain't going to work. That don't work. So these pro-sec bullshits, that's what they are. And another thing, that the woman who, what was the latest thing? Somebody, that's right, Weinstein, Harry or whatever the hell his
Yeah.
name is. Okay, him. I heard this woman, Kathy, on Linda's call. She was very, very good. Very good. And I listened to her. And she says there, it's ex-FBI that are retired, ex-CIA, and then
Oh, yeah,
Mossad. Let me finish, Barbara, because I can't pick up when you cut in.
okay.
The Jew people, see what I mean? I got off the track now. I can't pronounce that name. Mossad from Israel, Israelis.
Mossad.
Mossad, okay. Them two, they're retired, and they're all over the world. Yeah, everybody's trying to make a buck. And she also said, now I know she knows what she's talking about because I looked it up. It's also private contractors, stupid little bastards in your neighborhood that's making the same thing as the FBI, CIA, and the Mossad. The little independent people making an investigation company. And I know she's right. She's 100% right. So don't have to be FBI, CIA, and Mossad. It can be other little
That was
fast
the Black Cube.
company.
Wasn't it affiliated with the Black Cube?
No,
Black Box or
Cube is
Black
being,
Cube?
no, it's private contractors, and they say what she said. FBI, CIA, they're all retired. They got nothing to do. They made their money, and they open up this kind of shit. But that's not what's happening with us. We have the private little bastards that's opening it up in the neighborhood. That's
what I got.
That's what I have. That's what I have. That's what I have. If I go to Pennsylvania for a meeting, they're GPSing from satellite, GPSing, and then they're sending somebody from that area in
Right.
Pennsylvania. Yeah, that's how they do it. They join also with another dirtbag club and call them up. Okay, they're on their way over there. They're over here. I got them tracked. You could track it on TV. They have a TV like us, a computer rather, and they can track us. You can do it too. You put a GPS on their car, you could track them.
Well, I
It's
think
very-
that's what they're using is a lot of GPS.
Yeah, GPS is, they track you from satellite. You don't have to have a cell phone. They track you from the satellite. That's exactly what they're doing. I could have did it years ago. I could have got a lifetime membership for $99, and you could do it for free. They show you even on the computer how to do it for free. So I don't think the FBI or the CIA or Mossad, the Jew people over there in Israel, are looking to bother you.
Hey, do you remember who offered you that membership? If it was behind a company or some sort of name, even if it was a cover-up? Or do you not remember?
I don't know anything. I know there's a list, but I have no idea about these people, how they're getting this list.
Oh.
You know, believe half of what you hear.
Susan, you stated that you had that information years ago.
About what? I said a lot of stuff. About what? About who I know who's doing it in an investigation company? Yes, sirree. I went to their house, drove very slowly, and the mother lives there. Oh, she's a nasty bastard. She was taking stuff out of the car. Actually was giving me a dirty friggin' look. I wanted to spit at her. That's how slow I was going. But I said, don't do that. All right, I listen, I ain't doing that. So as I was going down, it's a dead end. As I'm going down, I said, I'll be a son of a bitch. There's about 10 perps clapping. They were washing the Big Cheese's car. So now I know where he lives too. Oh, you should see them all clapping and washing his car. I go, you bunch of ass kisses. He's clapping because I found where they lived. I found their little investigation company, and then yes, they call themselves the Patriots. And I found other places that they own. So that's it. You know, you do your homework, take a risk. But I have to tell you, I mean, so I just didn't find where the investigation lives. Someone told me. Okay? That's all. That's it. I ain't going any further on that one. So
Okay.
these people could be.
Go ahead.
That's it. I'm done. You know, we were talking about. I sent it to you, Harry Weinstein.
Yes.
About the black cube, and
Yeah.
I was just giving them information. I don't think it's the FBI, CIA, or that Mossad. It's private contractors, little bastards making an investigation company. That's my point. And that's it, really.
I'm going to email this Christy to see if I can.
Get her on the call?
Yep.
Good.
Oh God, my computer is like in reverse.
I missed the radar thing you did. That should have been very
Hey,
interesting.
Frank, I got your answer why we don't see the drones.
What's that?
They're invisible?
No, it's part of that UAV Act because it says 30,000 drones approved for U.S. skies by 2020. And it's on her same link that you sent me. It's just a little further down.
Yeah.
And there's thousands deployed, but they're probably not around us. They're around others,
Right.
which is why we haven't seen them.
Okay.
So
What do you mean around others?
around the people that say they get tracked by drones. I mean, I've seen
Oh.
YouTube videos with links, and people even asked, "Do you get the drones too?" So I know there's drone, and plus with this stuff here, there's drones following people, probably just for different types of experiments.
Yeah, I don't get them.
Yeah,
I
so-
mean, I got one. He was hanging around, but he just hung out. He didn't do anything. Above my back door, every night I saw him.
Was it a kid drone? You know, something you can buy?
No,
It
this
is.
was too high to be a kid.
I went on YouTube and
Hey,
seen
if
a drone. This guy had it, and he put it in the woods, and he actually picked up a Bigfoot. So those drones are pretty good.
Hi, this is Terry from Cleveland. I have a picture that I want to send someone because it looks like in the video that something is popping in and out behind the sun. And you could see the beams coming to my feet. It's the weirdest thing.
Wow.
What's Christine's last name? Yeah.
Farrell.
Okay.
The list.
That-
The list.
want me to post that email, Frank?
Yes, please.
Sure.
Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, I'm trying to send this email, but it's not working. So it's Christy.Farrell,
Did you,
Farrell.
No, Ferrell.
no, Ferrell.
What?
Ferrell.
No.
No, 2 R's and 2 L's.
Right.
Okay.
Right there, I just put it on the chat.
All right,
Is it the
good.
girl with the list?
Yeah.
1987.
Well, you know, good luck. She found 300 people already. You never know.
Hey, Frank, someone was on the call. They wanted to see if they can send you a picture
Yeah, no
about something
problem.
popping in and out of the skies, I believe.
Yep. I'd love to see that. You can
I
send.
have a weird, yeah. I have a video and it appears that it's dashing in and out behind the sun, and then I have a picture and pictures plural. It looks like it's a white hot dot in the middle of the day with as it filmed, it was like a pink haze around it, and the
Right.
beams are coming to my feet. It's the weirdest thing. And I'm wondering, as you guys are talking about drones and satellites, is that a drone or a satellite?
Yeah, that's interesting.
That's weird. So I just found your number from a previous call where you said send a text saying you want the weekly what your information, and I just sent that to you. It's the can I say the number?
Sure.
You said it on the air before. 508-857-8334.
That's
Should
correct.
I send the video there, or should I send it to an email?
You can send it to my email address, frank.thearcher, TheArcher,
I have hearing loss and spots on my brain, so you gotta go slow.
Okay, it's Frank, Frank, dot
Yes.
thearcher, Thearcher, at gmail.com.
At gmail.com. So I'm going to get off the phone right now. It's Theare. No, I'm writing that wrong. CHER at gmail.com, right?
Yeah. Archer,
will
like with
send
the
it.
bow. The Archer.
Archer.
Yeah.
Got it. I am going to get off the call and come back on after I've sent it. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
So what do you think about the list?
I don't know. I'm going to find out.
Yeah, then let us know.
Well, we'll see if we get an answer back. If anybody has a phone number, I'll call it right now.
She replied to me within less than 24 hours.
Okay.
And asked me for my, and I forgot she did ask me for if she could have my phone number, and I emailed it to her.
Yeah, don't give her your name though, because she's adding your name to the list. She asked Barbara for her maiden name. She
looked me up. You guys should listen to the recording of Ella's call. If all that's on the call, I think it might be because see, I missed the part about her explaining about the list, but she has a list. She's not using people's names to put them on the list. She's looking people up by their maiden name from a list she already has that's like 300 pages long or something. 600 pages, I don't know. She was scrolling through it as people were calling out names on Ella's call. I could fast forward to that part, find it, and then tell you where it is on the call.
Okay.
And I missed that lady talking that night.
Right.
I didn't miss it. I heard it.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm sorry.
Can you give her number to Frank? Her email?
I don't have her phone number. She emailed it and asked me through an email. When she replied to my first email, she asked me for my phone number, and I emailed it to her. She hasn't called me or anything, but she did respond to my email in less than 24 hours.
Okay, is her email address on your email that she sent? Did you look?
It's the same email that you guys have, Christy.Farrell1987 @Yahoo.
Does she have an affiliation with Derek?
I don't think so. I think she and Karen from the NSA have been working on it together.
Okay.
I think.
You can try to text Ali France. Frank.
Yeah.
She might know a little bit more because the email I provided you, I got it from her.
And you know what? Allison Ireland sent me an email about the list and about the class action suit, about this Christy Farrell girl. And I just got the email from Allison Ireland today.
Okay.
Or yesterday it might have got come.
Possible, Frank. It's possible. I don't know if it's 100% correct. I don't know. There's always scams on going. There's always scams.
Yeah, I don't like lists that just fall out of the sky, you know. But if it's,
I know.
we have to find the origin first. We have to make sure that Christy is not creating a list, because she did ask Barbara for her maiden name. So that means Barbara is on the list, but she wants to add her maiden name, or possibly look for her maiden name on there. So she is either adding people to this list to make it more complete, or she is honestly just looking. I mean, how many G's are there going to be? I don't know. If there's 300 pages, I assume there'll be a lot. This could have been a list that was started 20 years ago. What's that guy that used to hang around the subway stations in New York? I just did some research on him for Anne.
Oh, I don't know. What did he do?
He was an activist who actually got on the front page of the Washington Post magazine in January 14, 2000 1990, 2007, I'm sorry, that's it.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
I never heard about no man hanging around.
I'll put all the information I have available in the chat room. Not this minute.
And what did he do? He was an activist for something?
Yeah. He was an activist till he was very old. He used to sit down in the subway station with this magazine and just keep showing it to people and handing it out.
What was it about? Electronic torture?
Yeah, it was his life. I just got an email on it, and then Ann asked me to go ahead and see if I could find the cover of the magazine, because I guess that's what's got the information on it, or lead information. Well, if she's making her list, my name is now on it.
Yeah. Who knows what the hell? I know that I never believed in that, Frank, years ago. I never believed in the list.
Yeah, I don't like. They always get in the wrong hands.
There is a list. Whether I don't think she could. I think it's definitely with the government. That's it.
Could be.
There is a list, and they have it. And I don't know how the hell she could get it.
Well, when I first started becoming a target, okay, my friends in DC used to caution me about what I said to them in my emails, because they said that the local police got my emails. Now, I didn't understand this at first, but it seems like everything I sent to them, the local police got, because the local police would act on it. And I couldn't figure out how they got the information. And then finally, my friends told me that everything that I was sending to them was going to the police.
Ooh, Yeah,
And
I
it's,
believe it.
but it still didn't sink in. At the time, I didn't know what the hell was going on. I only knew that my friends in DC somehow could help me with what was going on with targeting. But the targeting wasn't my friends in DC. The targeting was the local cops.
Huh.
And I didn't find that out. I blamed it on my friends.
All right, that Christy Farrell address does not work with the dot in it. Should I try it without the dot?
Yeah.
Try it without the dot.
All right.
The police does have a list, because I remember going down there like a lady and giving them one of my green slips. That means because I had the police over here at my house, and I'm being very much harassed. And this woman, a cop with a perm who was old, she treated me like shit. I said, I want a copy of this, and I gave her the green card, and she looked it up. She was very nasty. She had a disgusting look on her face, and I'm going, what the hell's going on? I didn't, you know? And then she threw it at me.
Yeah.
She goes, this is not a charge. I said, you're telling me I can get tortured here with electronic stuff, and it's not a charge? No. I said, she's looking up something.
Wow.
My name must come up. That was many years ago, because recently they don't do that. As of 2/12, when I go down there, they don't do that. So I should have got that bitch's badge number, that dirty bitch.
Yeah.
So I get mad. I want to try to stay not mad. You know, I don't want to bring this out on
Susan, they had me go for jury duty. So when I signed in, the cop pulled up my name, and of course you can't see what's on the computer. He kept me standing there while he read the computer for 15 minutes.
Yeah,
And I was like, what the hell are you reading? And finally he says, oh, you can go in. I was like, I wonder what's on that computer about me for 15 minutes. Holy moly.
Yeah. Mhm.
Must have my life story.
They make up stories. That's what's on the computer. They make up stories, the perps.
That's true.
And we could do the same thing.
Okay, address not found.
Oh God. Yeah, that's bad when you can't.
Let me try to send another email to the address in my email and see if it sends. If it's
CHRSTI, right? Not Y, right?
correct. FERRELL.
Yeah.
1987 at
Yeah.
yahoo.com.
Yep.
Okay. I'm just gonna put hi, send, empty subject, send. I'll send it.
Okay, I'll be right back. I gotta grab.
Okay.
We don't care, Frank. Go.
Yeah, so there is some kind of list, and we could do the same thing. If you look up a government place, you could write something bad about somebody. But if you're lying, it's a $10,000 fine and imprisonment. So you really got to get your facts straight, and they'll investigate. And they're a special task force in the FBI. You know how we all don't want to get into it and do that, but I think we should have did it years ago.
No.
And it's never too late.
Well, especially if it's an ongoing crime.
Yeah.
No.
I had my torture wake up, my usual torture wake up, 7 o'clock. I needed that, 7 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, gee, I'd love it if it was 7. I'm 2, 4,
That's because it's Sunday.
6, 8,
Usually it's 4, 5, and 6. Today was 7.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You-
so it's really nasty. Wake up, I'm going to torture you.
No. Well, you know, and then on that video with Eric Karlstrom, he related 3, what was it? Let me dig it out here. He had, he's talking about 3 things that they do. Number 1 is torture and modify behavior. Now, he says that this is actually torture. This is no joke. They're actually doing torture, and they know they're doing torture. Number 2 is experimentation to refine the weapon system. And number 3 is to neutralize those on the hit list. That was in that video, YouTube, gang stalking with Eric Karlstrom, is it?
Yeah, I never listened to him yet.
Oh, that was really good. I think he's a Looney Tune in a lot of ways. Like, he thinks exactly opposite from what I think. Like, he thinks the Environmental Protection Agency is should be disbanded. Stuff like this, which I don't. And what else? Always very religious. Just the opposite of me.
Well, I don't know what I know. I don't listen to anybody unless it chimes with how I get it and what I believe. He's very close.
Well, he I don't know. He just doesn't. I think people who think like he does is like they're immature. But he also did some good research on this video, so I'll take it with a grain of salt. You know, come believe whatever you want. I don't care.
Yeah.
You want to believe in Santa Claus anymore? Have at it. I don't give a shit.
That email went out.
Oh.
It hasn't come back yet, so we'll see.
Which one was that?
Christy Farrell, 1987.
You had the spelling of the last name incorrect, I think.
No, Ferrell. That's the way I interpreted it. All right. Well, to get back. Oh, okay. I just got these pictures, so I'd like to look at one, see what it looks like.
Hey, Frank, I got some sort of update on the satellite.
Sure, go right ahead.
Research I've been doing. So, remember the website I gave you about the Cambridge scientists last week?
Yes.
So I went in and sorted all that data based on U.S. satellites.
Right.
And I picked out ones that seemed funny, like the ones that weren't for comms, the ones specifically tied to like the NRO. And then in that same data, I researched links of information so I can find out what those satellites are. And I basically found another website, but you can say I've identified 6 of them, and this website categorizes them as either electronic intelligence satellites or imagery intelligence satellites, and they're all U.S. based,
So
but
what
there's
do they
still more.
do?
Well, so I got to research electronic intelligence satellites to see what that is.
What's
But
imagery?
imagery, pictures, anything they can take pictures of, I'm assuming. Yep.
Ah,
Yep. But the second website I'm mentioning is really incomplete. The data doesn't tie up in all the columns. So you know, I'm sure the name is okay. But you know, anything else about it might be sort of out of whack, like where it is and stuff. And
okay, so
you
you're
know,
tracking them over certain areas, right?
well, I'm only worried about US. There's a ton of satellites out there, based on last week's email where you can download the list. So I just concentrated on US and government-based satellites, leaving out communications, you know, because
Okay.
most of them out there are communications, which could mean telephone or television, you know.
What if I give you a town?
I can't narrow it down that much, not yet. Maybe when I pick out where I want to locate some, we can check the longitude and latitude,
Okay.
you know, and then we can at least see which one is closest, you know, to you and see what kind it is. But I mean, at this point,
Is that
I'm not that.
military? Is that military too?
They all seem to be military tied. The ones I'm looking into are all military tied, based on the list. You know, I sorted them by country, and then I started looking at, okay, who launched the satellite, who is basically the provider, which means they run the updates, you know, and some of them tied to Lockheed Martin, you know, other ones to the NRO, and you know, I'm still researching on that, but I think it might be these two types, you know, of satellites, you know. What in electronic intelligence encompasses, I don't know. I know the CIA and the NSA have terms like EINT, you know, electronic intelligence.
Right.
Right.
So it might mirror with that, you know, at least in some aspect. Not that they get all their data from there, but you know, this might be an input into what they consider electronic intelligence, which seems to be a big thing, you know, because they have different types of intelligences and all that stuff. So
Yeah.
Why would an intelligence follow you?
we're,
Yeah.
ex- we're
I'm not gonna
government
say
experiments.
satellite.
Because you're intelligence.
No,
Yeah,
These
counterintelligence.
I don't.
You
think
ever
so.
heard of counterintelligence?
Yeah, but I don't think we have that status. I don't. Think
No, I don't
CIA
think so
is
either. But
FBI, okay. I don't
we're
think
the
so.
enemy. But we're the
Not
enemy.
really. No, not really.
Yeah,
was-
I believe they don't want us to believe in our humanity, and we all do in one way or another. And they want you to forget that. So you know, they're studying us. The other people, they're studying them too. They're studying the perps in my eyes as much as they're studying us.
Well, they've got to
Um,
have a classification to be able to use these and experiment on and
Yes.
practice on. So you're classified as enemy because this is who they'll eventually use them on, they
Uh-huh.
feel. So if you're a whistleblower, activist, and dissident, you are classified as an enemy.
And I think there's also natural TIs that don't fall into any of those categories except dissident, maybe, because you know, you might grow up saying this is wrong, this is wrong. Even if the world says that it's right around you, you might say, you know, that's wrong, I don't agree with it, and then you might be considered a dissident, you know. So
That's what dissidents do.
yeah, so how can they stop you from becoming who you're meant to be for yourself biologically? They want to target you as early as possible, and that's why I call it counterintelligence.
Another thing is that HUD considers those who sign petitions as vermin. And if you're vermin, they want to get rid of you. And that's your classification. So they
See?
put your name on the list.
Mhm.
And a petition is a benchmark for an activist whistleblower dissident. So if anybody has ever signed a petition in their whole life, you're already classified.
Mhm.
I guess
Yeah,
I
Barbara. No, the
can
perks for you
safely
on
say
that.
that I'm classified then.
Yep.
Oh,
I've
I
done
am.
animal petitions on change.org.
There you go.
Then I just stopped because it's getting too much. But that's the only petition I ever signed.
Well,
Besides this
PETA
crap.
is considered a terrorist group.
Who?
PETA.
PETA?
So,
Well, PETA, PETA, yeah.
PETA.
Yep.
Okay, PETA. What do they stand for? PETA.
I don't know, but it's an animal rights group,
Right.
right?
Right.
Yep.
They
Yeah, I don't
were
think it's like that at
classified.
all.
They were
I think
classified.
troublemakers.
Right.
I think a neighbor knew how to get into the system and put you on a list as you're going to be experimented on because you're a troublemaker. It has
Right.
to be something like that. Because
So,
come on.
I mean, if I don't doubt that that can also happen, but I mean, if you believe that, then it's kind of like we're already in a Stasi state, and it's getting run. The program's getting run entirely by AI, and there's no backup or checkup. Anyone can submit your name, and that's it. You know,
That's correct.
and
Anybody
I
can
don't
submit
think
your
they
name.
want to give people that much power. I don't care
Oh, well,
who you are. They don't want to give you that much power unless you
Wait a
know
minute.
you already have power.
Here's what I was told. I was told that I can't take this to court because they figure if your name is on the list, it's on the list for a good reason, and you can't object to it. That's what I was told.
It's against the law to put
Yeah, well,
somebody on a list without
Yeah.
consulting them.
I agree with it. Should, I mean, I don't know if it is at this point, but I mean, I hope it is, because it should be. I mean, it's like someone issued a restraining order on you and didn't let you know, and then just out of the blue, you might be around that person for no reason, just out of coincidence, and that's it. They arrest you, and it's like,
Right.
how did I know I couldn't be near that person? So it's kind of weird, kind of like Kevin Shipp described his gag order. They sent him a gag order and it was all blacked out. He couldn't even read what it was about. He couldn't know what he couldn't talk about or what he could talk about. That's how they tried to set him up.
Yeah, all the embassy personnel are gag listed too. You have a gag order.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I bet. Yeah, I bet you even the ones in Canada.
I'm going to run the next time I see a swarm of grasshoppers. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, I mean, in a way, if they can have a camera as small as you can say, a bee, right? Who's to say that those grasshoppers aren't remote controlled?
Well,
They want to
something.
blame it on grasshoppers. I mean,
Probably 15
or
years
crickets.
ago
Yeah.
on Good Morning America, there was a segment called Bugs on Bugs, and they showed your basic housefly with a bug on it. And this is 15 years ago. So what are they doing now? They're probably putting the bugs in the flies and regenerating them. Who knows?
Yeah.
But I think that anywhere you go, even if you're not targeted, we'll say, anywhere you go, you're being watched, you're being recorded, and for whatever reason.
Oh, the UK is really bad with that. They got everything everywhere.
Oh yeah, they got CCTVs everywhere, like pretty much on every corner, on every building.
Yeah.
In some places, in most of the places, they really do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We had them taken down.
They had what taken?
Cameras. That's posted
Yeah,
up
but
on the pole.
they have mics on the poles.
It's all down. Only the big intersections, gigantic we need them, and they left them there. But all the rest of them are taken down.
But what there was an initiative, right, in New York City to put sound devices, you know, on the poles or around the
No
city.
idea.
Just speak. Oh no,
I'm not
this
in New
was
York.
for a few. Okay, I'm sorry. I
I'm in
thought
Long
you
Island.
mentioned it. Okay,
I'm in New
all
York
right.
State, but it's Long Island.
Yeah. Long Island's different. Yeah.
And the people
Okay.
pay taxes starting at 7 and up. A normal house is 7. A house with a garage is probably 10 now. It goes up and up and up. So why should we, a lot of people protested. What the hell is this shit?
Yeah, no, they do, because I mean they wanted to do the lighting initiative recently, and some neighborhoods in New York City demanded that they get removed because it was just too bothersome and too bright, you know. And I think it reminded them of the cameras that they might have gotten taken down and said, wait a minute, they can just fly a drone and see any of us, you know, if it's this bright. And I have some of those lights around me. I live in Rhode Island, but they installed them in my neighborhood. And they are really bright. I mean, it looks almost like daytime on the street level when it's nighttime. But they do have microphones around New York, and I don't think they removed those, you know, around the city. And they basically said it's kind of like if they would hear like a gunshot or something, the police would know where to respond. But I think that's bogus.
Well, New York City is like a jungle. It's like a jungle. I never liked going to New York City, but I went a few years ago, and it's like a jungle. Everybody comes up to you. That's from another country, and right up to your face. You want to buy this? You want to buy it? Get the frig. You can't go 2 steps without them doing that. It's ridiculous. And the rich areas, Macy's and all of that stuff. Okay, it's a different story. But the rest of the area is terrible. So that's why they probably have the cameras. A lot of crime.
Yeah, but the interesting part is the areas that I read remove the cameras were the nice areas. The ones who know they gotta say. That's kind of, I think, what's going on here in a certain level. You know, they try to take your voice away or make you think that you don't have a voice, that you don't matter, and the government has their way with you when you just accept it and deal with it any way you think is fit. And that usually turns out, if you're being controlled, is doing whatever the government wants. But obviously they don't think it's the government, it's something else. I got my eyes somewhere else, and that's why I believe the government is heavily behind this and involved daily.
Well, they got nothing else to do, so probably why. The CIA is supposed to be doing espionage work, right? Well, everybody's coming into this country. I don't think they're doing espionage work.
Yeah, they shouldn't even be gathering intelligence on Americans in America. And they're doing it by these means, by having perps stand in front of the CIA and act like they're something else. I started calling the perps tricks, because during MK Ultra years, that's what the CIA called, the pills that they made up and the LSD, whatever they used to mess with, drug someone, they called it a trick. So yeah, that's what I'm calling my perps now.
I think they're just practicing. I don't think it's they have something against us. I think they're practicing the craft.
The perps?
I'm not really into it. Yeah, that's what I think.
Yeah.
Why is he waking me up at guard, in the middle of the night? It's because he has to get up. That's why.
I think he got, they made him get up and he's taking it out on you. So, I mean, I get a lot of V2K and they're always consistently angry.
Don't buy that shit. Don't buy it. Don't buy it that they're being surveillanced and they're like a targeted individual.
Oh, trust me, I don't feel bad for them. I don't feel bad for them. I came up with that. I don't.
He's got a business, and there's other people that I track that have businesses, and this is a part-time thing, a hobby, learning this crapola. So now
I agree.
His wife works doing it. He works. He's got a business in the day. They're having a good time. They all get together. down by the water in the summer, have a barbecue with all the rest of the perps. I do my homework very well. They're having a good old effing time. Okay?
Yeah, with how much he surveils you, right? Or does stuff to you, how do you think he can effectively run his business doing both?
Well, his father runs his business. The father runs his business.
Okay. So
And
he
he can
has
do
help.
whatever he wants. Like when
Mhm.
his camera goes off on his computer, watching my house, he comes running home, put it back on. Or he gets another perp to go over somebody else's house, like right next door, and put their computer on. I watch the whole goddamn thing. It's really a joke. It's a joke.
Yeah.
He needs a beating. He needs
Oh,
to
yeah.
be in a wheelchair for about 5-10 years. Yeah, I watch the
Mhm.
whole thing. It's no big CIA. It's no FBI shit. How they getting away with it is beyond my.
Yeah.
So when they're hurting you, they're practicing. Because you probably didn't do a goddamn thing.
Yeah, and when I get to hurt them, it's not going to be practice. It's going to be full-blown execution.
You better believe it.
I hate this stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
This is going to be all-out war. There's going to be a civil electronic war, or at least a war against the perps with their electronics. And
Yep.
you're going to see it hot and heavy. Then they'll start waking up.
Mhm.
I just posted 4 links in the chat. They're all about drones. Very interesting stuff.
I'll save those.
Yeah, and I have a picture of an ID chart that IDs the different kinds of drones. I'll see if I can get that in there too. I'll have to dig for it.
The second link didn't bring up much. It says an error. Let me try it again.
Yeah, I put it in twice, I think.
Okay. Yep. Yeah, it looks like the same one.
.pdf I missed.
Oh, okay. Okay. It's opening up now.
This is the new pastime for these people.
Oh, yeah.
This is a pastime.
That's
Oh,
exactly
me.
what it is.
Uh-huh.
Yep, it's a
The
habit.
new bowling. Yep, the new bowling.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. I don't have to go out. My wife don't have to yell at me for going out bowling. I could stay in the house and talk at the person across the street or next door and make her happy. It's a new pastime.
Listen, I gotta go out for an hour. I gotta go grocery store.
Okay, we'll be here.
Okay, I'll see you in an hour in case you were wondering if I was dead or not.
Okay. So, it looks as though we've got a lot of good research going on.
How many people you got on the call, Frank?
Let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 9, including myself.
Okay, you're getting there.
Well, I'm not really advertising for this because I want people to come of their own volition so that, they know it's not a regular talk, a regular show. It's just for tech. So,
I think it's great. Frank, it's Terry from Cleveland. I think it's great that you're having the show because, again, people call in for information and education and to talk and to listen. So any information to someone that is suffering is good,
Yes, and we also pick up information on dissidents among ourselves, like Mr. Brian Coffrin and we pick up information like this list that's going around with over 300 people on it that we know nothing about. So that's something that has to be researched for sure.
It's so secretive that people have to talk out about it.
Oh, yeah. Well, the more this is published, like tapes of these calls, probably not a tape of this call, but a tape of a regular, like a Wednesday night call when there's like almost 100 people there or something like that. That's different, but this is sort of like research between us, you know. And I wanted to, I think I mentioned it to you, Angel, or I sent you a text. Our new group is forming, and Barbara's in it. Paul from the North Shore's in it. I'm in it. Bill out of Boston's in it. There's a whole bunch of people. Let me see. I want to say Mary, but I could be wrong. But there's like we got like 10 people just about, I think, already. So
What is it?
it's a group to go out and get together and like have a cup of coffee, sit down, eat a meal together, talk about what's happening, and basically do whatever we want, you know.
Oh, in your area.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good. That is nice.
Yeah, you can include me in that, Frank. I let you know that before.
Okay.
I didn't get any text or email about it. I remember you telling me over the phone.
Well, it's too far for me, or I would be there.
Yeah, and Fire Within just said that she was on Linda's call and mentioned our Sunday Tech call, and she's basically saying not like it's a secret call, but the call between this group that we form, that's going to be it. It's going to be the people in the group, with certain exceptions, like Susan and whatnot, and those who like text me and say, "Hey, I'd like to just hang in and see how your group's doing." Well, that's fine too. And we'll probably meet with Kate's group, and we'll see what happens. But I want to do twofold on these groups. I want to. I don't want to make it like a board meeting with nothing else. We should go out to maybe a restaurant, or maybe even just sit down and have a cup of coffee and talk, and then maybe take a walk to the Arlington Library from the parking lot, and then maybe have coffee afterwards. But it's basically just, you don't have to go there feeling like you have to talk about something. Go there like you feel like you want to meet other TIs, and that's exactly what we want to have happen. And we'll talk about, work about. We will speak about other people that may want to join the group. We'll speak about people that may want to join STARS, which is kind of a different kind of group. And STARS is going to be based in Massachusetts, and I think there'll be other chapters around the country once they get the idea, and we'll go from there.
I don't mean it's a secretive call. Terry from Cleveland, I'm speaking. I mean it's secretive what the government is doing to people.
Oh yeah.
And so good that everyone is talking out, and the more you're I would have never found these conference calls and understood that I became, to the acceptance that I'm a targeted individual, unless I had seen YouTube and discovered the conference calls. Because the more people talk, the more I'm like, yeah, that's happened to me. So I don't mean secretive these calls, I mean secretive, what the government is doing, and that we can never find out information of why or how to get off this list.
Yeah, this is a list. Well, it's obviously a copy of the list that somebody else has. So the thing to do is we have to get a hold of Christie and find out, okay, who published this list? And you can actually scan the paper with the right equipment and get the printer, the IP address of the person, and the whole 9 yards in terms of
Wow.
who actually printed it. But
Wow.
unfortunately, she's probably downloaded it from somewhere or has had it passed to her, hopefully, in a brown envelope. That would be great.
What did you think about my video? Did you see the video where the light beams are at my feet?
The white. No, I just got through looking at Barb. She has a picture of like a lot of light around her window. We're trying to figure out what that is now. Which video was yours?
I sent you 2 emails. The first one had about 4 pictures, so you could see that it was a constant beam.
Oh,
I was at the beach. It's a beach scene. There's about 4 or 5 photos. That's the first email. And the second email is like a 1-minute video where I'm moving my iPhone camera from like the sun, where the beam originates, it appears, to where the beam is at my feet. Did you see that? It's the weirdest thing.
yeah, I've got the. I think that's the one I'm looking at right now. There's like 4 or 5 pictures.
Yes. And then the second email has a short 1-minute video that shows, that the beam is to my, well, I show my jeans, but
And this is
I'm
Cleveland
sitting
speaking,
on the
right?
rock of the beach. Say again?
This is Cleveland speaking, right?
Right. I'm at the beach. It's like a warmish day, or it's a clear, bright day, and I was overheating at the beach.
Okay,
And
yeah.
I couldn't figure out why. And then I started to film just beach scenes, and I realized my photos had these weird light beams in them.
Yeah, I'm going to look at this. Okay, there's trouble playing it, so I'll download it and see what's wrong with it. Okay, and this is like light at your feet because
Well, yes, the beams, yeah.
we're getting a lot more pictures and a lot more video, which is exactly what I want, of light so that we can analyze them and exactly figure what they are.
Good. I also, did I talk about or send you a photo of around in the city where I live, where I grew up? I had to move back home because I was sick. They have Infraguard, and Infraguard just held a big, huge meeting in my city. And Amazon is also where Infraguard, or excuse me, Amazon is also coming to the city. I truly wonder if the two are related. But I've noticed around my neighborhood that people have these cobalt blue lights. And I read that the Infraguard issues headlights, they issue door lights, and my neighbor's window flashes this cobalt blue color all night. And I could feel, when I look out the window on my eyes, I could feel like a singe because it's radiation or something, because it's so like white hot heat. You can feel it I can feel it on my eyes, all over my skin. I can actually feel like the hair on my arms stand up, that electrical feeling.
Yeah.
So I wonder if I have this picture of my neighbor with bright blue, cobalt blue windows in the middle of the night. It's the weirdest thing.
Yeah, I'd like to see that one.
You want to see? Okay, I'm going to hang up and send you that one too, okay?
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, this picture looks just like, it looks like sunbeams coming down the way the camera is picking it up, but could be something else. But I will share it anyway. Can you see that? Can anybody see that?
Yeah, I can see it, Frank.
Yeah, what do you think? Sunbeams? Look at the origin.
Yeah, it looks like glare.
Yeah,
Let me see.
yeah. Anybody else want to weigh in on that? We only have 3 or 4 more computers.
What are you exactly pointing out that you believe are sunbeams?
She's
Just the glare
posting
or
something
something else?
else, but what I'm
Okay.
seeing is 3 sunbeams, what I would call them. Because if you look at the origin it says it all.
Yeah, it's
If
coming
the
right.
origin were like to the right or extreme left or extreme right of the sun, I would say yeah. But in this case, okay, Mythbusters declares that one something other. All right. Well, keep them coming though, because I can't figure out the one that Barb sent me. She sent me one it looks like almost like headlights hitting her window, but you never can tell. Let me see if I can. I could pull that one up too, but having something really conclusive is really good. But I have seen things so far that I can actually debunk very easily. Not that I'm trying. I'd rather see it be, true. But okay, is that you, Treese, coming back?
Yes.
Okay, we think I shared the screen, and we think that those, in terms of the origin, especially, that they're just sunbeams, and it's the way your camera is picking them up.
I don't know about that because it would be like a ray of light. It wouldn't be like a. Do you see how it's like a string? It's like a
Yeah,
white string of light. And as I walk, I think I'm remote neural monitoring. By the way, after I would never have uttered those words, but after hearing everybody's stories, I
yeah,
know that's what it is, and it does feel when you're walking, especially. I noticed these white beams too when there was foggy by my mom's house where I'm living. You could see the streams of light, and when I go walking, even if it's really cold out at night, and I go at night, even though the headlights are really blinding to me, I can feel heat on my ears, on my forehead, on my top of my head. It's like strings of light are following me. So I'm thinking it's some sort of remote neural monitoring. Especially because I have hypertesis, demyelination of the central nervous system, postural orthostatic tachycardia syndrome, weird stuff.
I
And
have
all night
RN,
long too.
yeah, I have RNM as well, and it's. I have to say that when they're babbling on like they are now, they're just pains in the ass. Now, I have Dave Case's CD playing in the background behind this call because they're like little kids. and that's the only way I can describe them. They're like it.
Well, I don't have the babbling. I don't have that. I have like light beams in my ears that go way down.
Yeah.
That you can feel as I'm walking. It's almost like streams of light are touching my ears the whole time. I don't know how to describe it any other, but I don't have the talking.
What do you actually have?
I don't know. I know it's micro pulse because you could hear it all night long in my ear and feel it all over my forehead. And there's little divots now on my skull and on my forehead where you can hear it go dit, 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 and that's what my ear picks up.
Okay.
And the radiation, because again, my hair is standing up, and just I get really weird blood tests. I don't know. That's what I feel, because it's like bright hot heat, like you're standing in a million spotlights. That intense heat of a spotlight, that's like unnatural. So I think it's the directed energy weapons. When I say remote neural monitoring, I mean like I'm walking around and it feels like I'm a puppet on a string with light beams attached to me. No matter where I walk, I've tested all different directions of walking, and it's hard to walk during the day because with mine, you can't have the heat because it's sound, it's heat, it's pressure, just like those sonic articles said.
Okay, you might be in the beginning of RNM or something like it, or you might be right before or during actual gang stalking, but RNM consists of actual voices. It actually consists of brain manipulation, torture to various parts of your body in terms of pain, sexual manipulation of genitals and whatnot. Yeah. You have that?
Oh, yeah. I mean,
okay.
Now I realize in retrospect what they've done to my body. I have so many other medical problems. They've already done all that to my body over the last 7 years.
Okay. So you may be in just a subliminal type. I think it's more dangerous if they come at you subliminally right from the beginning, because it might be easier for them to blend thoughts in or drop thoughts in. I can see them. I mean, as soon as they drop something in that's not mine, I know it. And it's hard for, like, somebody, like I talked to my brother about it, and he won't even speak to me now. So my other brother is dying, unfortunately. So I've spoken to him, and he doesn't say anything. So, but people can't understand because you're standing in front of them, and there's visibly nothing harming you. Visibly, there's visibly nothing happening to your mind. You're not spazzing out or anything like that. So they look at you like you're basically a nut or a schizophrenic or whatever you choose to call it, or whatever medical term you choose to give it. But RNM, I would say, is the most dangerous thing to get because they don't stop ever. While you're sleeping, they could be manipulating my mind while I'm sleeping, but they're just starting to mess with dreams. I'm having weird dreams as I first wake up. So what I think they're doing is they're trying to mess with me when I'm coming out of REM sleep and all the way up to being awake. So the false dreams are just starting, so I'm going to ramp up a step, and I'm going to be going to Whitman to the police station to sit down and talk to the detective again. And I'll be calling him again today. Uh-oh.
What happened?
I'll be right back in a second. Somebody's calling me.
Oh, okay. I was going to tell Frank, try not going down to the police station by yourself.
Oh, I have a good working relationship with them. So it's
I don't know if mine's remote neural. I'm just trying to understand what it is. I just found your community. I never understood what I could possibly have, or this was all. I never even knew this existed until about 6 weeks ago.
okay. So there's a lot you have to learn. We'll help.
Right.
If you can go over your Angel, I know is R&M, and he's getting deeply hit. So I have to go find out what's going on at the door, and
Okay.
I'll be back
All right.
in a couple minutes. All right.
Okay.
Thank you.
Miss, do you have a computer?
Say again?
Do you have a computer?
I don't. You know, and I was so isolated. I'm not on social media. I could not do the chat room right now. So the learning part is really hard for me. I'm isolated, obviously.
Okay,
Who am I
can
going
you
to
go to
tell
the
all this?
library? Can you go to the library?
Yeah, but that's kind of risky these days because, you know, you can't look up stuff like this on the computer in a public library because there's someone obviously monitoring the,
No, it's all right. You can
You know.
do it. That's okay. This ain't a secret. It's on the internet. This ain't a secret. You just look it up
I know,
electronic.
but right, but it's a weird subject. You don't want to be, you know, it's a strange
Well,
subject.
you
and
need to do your homework. You need to do your homework because
This is my homework.
everybody's different.
Right.
Everybody's different. This is a technical call today, but this is everybody is different, and we have to know things that are happening and bring it out and learn how to shield it, stop it, you know, whatever on those lines.
It's impossible to shield. It's impossible to shield.
The only reason it's impossible is because we don't know exactly how it's getting to us and in what frequencies. You know, I know for sure once that's figured out, it is a combination of things. But once it's figured out, we're going to be able to shield just fine. And I'll give you a clear example. You know, they have credit card readers that can read, supposedly read your credit card data that's in your pocket. And now they say they have wallets that are RF shielding, you know, because they know exactly what equipment is used to scan your credit cards and what frequency it works. And now they know how to block it. So, you know, once we figure out exactly how they're doing it to us individually, because it does differ. And I do agree with her. I don't remember her name, but you know, you have to research on your own for the simple fact, so you can sort of know what you have, because taking someone else's advice will help you. But at the end, you have to at least research on your own, even if you're just watching YouTube videos, if possible. You can kind of say, okay, this sounds like me, this sounds like me. It could be a different combination that none of us have seen.
Right, exactly. Everybody's situation is different, and I have used a lot of YouTube videos. And you know, Frank just suggested that Case Electronics. I got that CD maybe 8 weeks ago, and it didn't work for me. So I'm thinking that my frequencies are different.
Okay, could be.
The only frequency that works for me is targeted individual scattered frequency. It's about 38-minute long YouTube.
Yep,
and
I've heard that one.
Like, I can actually like clean my room for 10 minutes, and then go to start a load of laundry, because you can't accomplish anything when you're always being hit with this stuff. So
yeah, I agree.
So like I put on that scattered targeted from the YouTube, the 38-minute one, because the Dave CD, I still have it. It doesn't work. I apologize.
Did you use
Dave.
that one over the radio, or did you use it with headphones?
I just used it over, like, I have an old Walmart reconditioned computer, and
Okay. You got good speakers on there? Because sometimes it's the sound quality. That's what Dave explains. And he was on this call last week explaining it, saying, to hear the frequencies that actually disrupt it heavily, it depends on the sound quality. So that's why his instructions come with, you can try to find these headphones or this type of headphones, and if you look into it, they have to have over 25 hertz.
If it don't work, my name is Susan. If it doesn't work for her and she found something else, then she should go with what she found.
Oh yeah, go with what you found. I agree. Sometimes
found.
those work better for me too. I know what she's talking about.
It's all different.
I haven't gotten around. Obviously, you cannot accomplish much during the day. I haven't to go find like technology around where I live is almost impossible.
Yeah,
but
and you can't get them online because they're cheaper online than in a store, unless you kind of go looking for anything over 25 hertz, which is 25. Which is 25 kilohertz. I think 25.
Watch out
hertz.
for the disinformation, the phony crapola. Also, don't take everything as that's it.
Yeah.
You got to watch because there's a lot of disinformation with phony people coming on here, perps coming on, all of the calls, not just here, all of the calls.
Well, I don't mean to debate that. You guys, that Brian was a really interesting story on LF, and it's, I know I looked into the Amazon job, and they do swab you, so they do get your DNA. To even be interviewed, you have to.
You know what Amazon is. I go on Amazon all the time. If I can't find something, I buy it. And if I wanted to send it back, you can't. You can't send it to Amazon. You got to send it to where you bought it. They're just like a front, Amazon, to get other companies to go on and advertise on their site. That's all Amazon is. So if they're swabbing your mouth for a sit-down computer job, something is wrong with that.
That's what I think too. If you want my DNA,
did they do it to you?
Pay for it.
Did they do it to you? Did you go for a job and they did it?
I was like 10 people before the front of the line, and I thought, I just can't do this because I'm not a robot. If you want my DNA, you're going to have to pay for it. My point is that I believe elements of his story. I'm not a scientist. I can't explain. I never worked for his company, but there's a ring of truth to his story. I don't know what he did to discredit himself because I didn't follow the whole story. All I heard was his initial story, but it was quite.
They try to let him go. He's a drug addict. That guy. He's a heroin addict because Ella had a woman on.
Well, maybe he.
Yeah, she told everything. She told everything about that guy. That she let him in her house.
He is like, I can't even think of the right words. He came in. He's scooping up money from TIs. He's still operating in California groups, still trying to get money. He's abandoned everything, all the other calls and whatnot. He stays away from them intentionally. But
maybe ethically he has maybe he has violated every targeted individual understood ethic. But maybe he has turned to drugs because of his situation, that they're targeting him, his brain, and he has changed, and he's not his own self himself. A person.
He's a heroin addict. They don't change. Because heroin addicts don't change. Let me tell you.
Yeah, but that's such a strong. I've never done an illegal drug in my life, and with being so sick, I was prescribed drugs that didn't work, and I knew that I didn't have that condition. I didn't take any psych drugs this whole time.
Yeah, he's phony. We're telling you, he's phony. Don't listen to anything he says. You can't trust
the
him.
whole
He's a
story?
parasite. Yeah, his whole story is full of shit. His whole story is full of shit. Anybody that would stand online to get swabs to work behind a computer, there's something wrong with that. If that's true, walk away. Something's wrong with it.
I know, but that's what I'm saying. There are elements of his story that are factual because Amazon is coming to my city and they're already hiring people online and having in-person interviews in the city. So they are swabbing people for their DNA, what he said. I'm not sure where he went wrong or what, but I think there's a ring of truth to his story.
He said that everyone was being sent to, what's that nationwide blood drawing company? I can't think of it.
American Red Cross?
No.
No, it's another one.
You donate blood?
Quest Diagnostics, I think he said.
Quest, that's it. Okay.
Quest?
They are sending people over to Quest. So if Quest is getting DNA, then, well, Quest is in trouble because.
But if I remember what this woman has said right now, she said she's been in line, waiting for an interview or for an Amazon interview, and she left the line because they were taking DNA samples. She didn't want anything to do with it.
And I also met someone that got hired through my catering job. I met someone who got hired who said the same thing, that her and her cousin both got hired as employees, and the cousin had worked previously. And honestly, there was something about the cousin's story. The cousin was on the computer, and then she had a home-based job where she's doing customer service. Amazon gave her the telephone, gave her the computer. She's working for Amazon from her house, and just something happened. She changed as a person, and she committed a crime. And I just thought, I don't know, is that coincidence based on, I had just heard Brian's story, and he hadn't discredited himself yet, but I thought, wow, that's really weird, because he was saying that they change people and try to evoke them. I'm using the wrong word, trying to suggest to them to commit a crime, and the woman did commit a crime.
What'd she do? She committed a crime.
She was go ahead. She was a customer service representative based out of her home for Amazon. She got hired, she got swabbed, and then the second person that I met said, yes, she got swabbed in the cheek, and if you don't agree to it, and they're pretty much taking anyone. If you can pass a background check and agree to get swabbed in the cheek.
Yeah, but how did she get herself in trouble?
She committed a crime. She committed a felony.
On the computer with Amazon?
No, not. What I'm saying is that I don't know how to explain it. Maybe I'm not explaining well.
Just tell us what was the crime that she committed? Do you know?
It was some type of fraud, but it wasn't related to her job. But
I'm going to find out about Amazon. I'm going to make believe I'm going to like get into Amazon and ask them I want a job. What do I have to do?
They're recruiting now because they are moving. They are building a $1 billion. I think it's more than $1 billion. A new site somewhere in a city. They have a few cities in mind, so they are recruiting.
There is already one built in Braintree, Massachusetts. That's 20 miles north of me.
Is that the one that they chose?
I don't know, but there is one in Braintree. They're taking applications.
They're all over. If you go on these job, I'm not going to mention the job site because I don't want to give them free advertising. I don't think they're necessarily do that. But if you go on one specific or any of these job search, they're all Amazon is in every state pretty much. Tons of cities in each state. But wasn't Jeff Bezos, he someone said on this one of these calls that he was building a database for artificial intelligence. Is that true or not true?
We don't know. We don't know what the hell Amazon's doing. Unless one of us goes and says, well, I want to be, I want to get a job.
And you know, the sad part about this is he disseminated a lot of disinformation. And this disinformation is probably what we're speaking about right now. Amazon is opening retail locations. Why they are asking for DNA, I don't know. As far as I know, it's not. It's legal to do if you. I don't know. I don't think it's legal. I take that back.
I don't think
Yeah,
it's
that's what I
legal either.
think too. But if you agree to it, then you're going to get stored in their file. I mean, if it really was for a drug test, they would be asking for urine, blood, or a hair sample.
Well, I'm going to find this out about Amazon. I'm going to do some research with Amazon. I could use a job. Let's see if they ask me for DNA. Okay, that's the only way you're going to find out. Yeah,
Right. So everybody apply for and
yeah,
I'm
we got to
just
apply. Because this guy, he's a prince or something. This guy Kaufman, it's like a prince. He said this, and everybody's believing him. I mean, I never heard. And then
I think
the
that
woman
story
gets on,
is so
and he ripped off
believable that it's
every
true.
person. He ripped off all these targets that are pissed off, including Ella.
You want to listen to that tape again?
Say again?
Have you heard the tape 185?
No, is that the tape that he discredits himself?
Yeah, it's a tape where he blows it all. I'll play it if you want to hear it.
Yeah, go ahead, play it.
All right.
No, that's okay, because you guys were playing it the other day. Can I ask Frank why you call him a dissident? That's a pretty strong word. Are you saying a dissident to your to the community? I believe I'm part of the community because I'm 99% sure I'm targeted.
Yes.
He's a dissident to the community.
A lawbreaker.
But
he broke into Desiree's apartment. He stole money. He put up donation sites for GoFundMe's and one PayPal account. So that's like mega saturation for GoFundMe sites, and one PayPal.
They try to make people do crazy things, right? They're trying to make people act out. They're trying to make people commit a crime. I know I've been accused of very serious crimes, and I'm lucky that I am not remote. I would never. I went to a Catholic women's college. I would never think of committing a crime. So maybe they just caused him to do crazy things, and then you get.
Miss, you don't even know him. You don't even know him. Why are you coming on here and sticking up for him? That blows me away. You don't even know the guy, and we heard all about him from Target. Tell me, what if they mind control me to go and shoot the son of a bitch across the street?
No.
You actually think I'm going to do that? So he's allowed to rip somebody off because he's mind controlled. Is that what you're telling me?
No, of course not. I don't think that's right at all.
I'd like to say that you're very new to the community, 6 to 8 weeks.
I am.
So,
yes.
I'm
maybe I don't have a good opinion.
No. That's not true. I'm over 6 years as of October the 15th, 2011. So I have seen a lot, and Sue has seen a lot. And I'm not sure the length of time everyone else was.
13 since 2007.
Okay.
That I know.
All right. So we've been fighting this for a long time, and we've been infiltrated by people like Brian Coffrin before. And what was that guy, Greg something?
Damasio.
Yeah, he ripped. He ripped Derek off, didn't he?
No, no. Well, Derek went along with him.
All right.
He goes. Derek goes along with anybody when it comes to money. I'm
Yeah.
only telling you the truth, Frank. I mean,
know that.
really. He was
People in this
pro-sec. He
community-
wanted everybody. Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead. You explain it. He wanted money for a pro-sec lawsuit on the FBI. It has to be because everybody couldn't tell him their perps. So you have to mail $10. Everybody. Nobody. I
agree
didn't do it.
that you can't trust everybody. Just in your real life, I personally cannot trust anyone except my support system because I can see how people have changed and are maybe afraid of me. And I don't want to. I really, truly don't want to involve anyone in this.
Well, listen to
whatever
what Frank
is going
said.
on.
You're new, and listen to that. What he confessed. This is Hollywood. Is this to say this is make believe? He can do whatever he wants. Listen to that, then you'll change. You might change your opinion of him.
I just heard the other side of the coin, getting hired and working there. So I am.
I'm gonna apply for a job. I could use money. I'm gonna apply for a job on Amazon. I happen to like Amazon.
SIS is a company that worked for Amazon, okay? Not Mr. Coffin. The contract was between SIS and Amazon. SIS was their security company, okay? That's what I know.
That changes the whole thing.
Was he contracted to Amazon?
Yes. Amazon contracted SIS to run their security. Like, have you ever gone somewhere and seen security people standing around? Well, they could be SIS people, you know? That's what I'm trying to say. He was a security guard, basically.
Yeah, the story is it's quite unbelievable. I feel bad that obviously you got to feel sympathy towards someone who's going to extremes like that. I think he violated rules, what everyone's talking about. I haven't heard the discredit tape, but I'm just bringing it up as this is kind of maybe what Amazon might be doing. I don't know. I mean, maybe we should be looking at that because that would lead us towards.
We have such credible people in this organization, such credible, honest people. To be looking at some drug addict, heroin addict is unbelievable right there.
Forget about him as a person. I think we should be looking at Amazon. It's all over. It's in every state. I'm sure this is going to bring more directed energy weapons towards me, but it's in every
don't worry
state.
about that.
It's in every
Did you find
community.
out who's doing it? Did you find out who's doing it? And it has to be close to you.
No, that's why I'm listening in because I'm trying to figure out what mine is. Speaking of technology, if we could change the subject, I was asking the other day, does anyone know what the RAND programs are? RAND, because now that I think about it, when this could have all started, my old computer from Walmart, it was reconditioned. Every time I went onto the computer, you would see it as it booted up. You would see it flash at the top, the sequence. It would say like http://rand.com, and that's a defense contractor, and they're into weird stuff. I mean, I don't know. I'm rambling now. I'll just listen in. I don't mean to interfere with your calls. I'm grateful that there's even a show that I can listen in and learn something on a Sunday when I can't physically do anything. So thank you. I will stop talking for today.
All right. Hey, Frank, did I miss about the radar? Because radar has a lot to do with this also.
Yeah, we actually went over a lot about radar. There's a lot of stuff in the chat. It's too bad that you can't get on it.
Yeah, damn. Yeah, I can't go into the chat. I don't know how to do it. I don't want to do it.
Okay,
I'll ask Barbara. Barbara was on. I'll ask Barbara to email me some of the stuff you said about the radar.
Okay, it's all Lockheed Martin is responsible for all our ICBMs, intercontinental ballistic missiles. You look at Lockheed Martin, and all of the mind control that I've looked at by Renee Pittman is all about Lockheed Martin. And I also pointed out that Renee Pittman books, very good source for most anything about targeting. So,
I'll look her up. Well, Lockheed Martin, we have Lockheed Martin over here, about 15 minutes, 20 minutes from me. It's another county. It's Nassau County. So it's not just one building. It's even like big buildings on their property where movie studios can rent out one of the buildings. So Lockheed Martin probably has everything going for money, over there. I'll look into it because radar is another part of the targeting.
yeah, I agree wholeheartedly. Yeah, and Fire Within just posted the first stage for TIs is the paranoid stage, and that is exactly correct. 100% true. 100%. Because you don't know what's going on. You don't know what's happening. You don't know why this stuff's happening. You haven't ran into anybody else that has yet. And usually, when people get to the groups and they become enlightened a little bit, that's when this stops. So it's important that if you know somebody who is stricken with this, to get them to us so that we can talk to him and get him on his train back on the tracks a little bit.
Yeah. Look at that girl that was on. I think it was your show.
Yeah.
Wednesday. She was crying because she had surgeries after surgeries after surgeries.
Yeah.
So she found out that she was a targeted individual. That's totally just horrible.
Yes, it is. Many of the surgeries that some people have are because the perps have told them that they have done this to them and that they need to get to the doctor. So they keep applying the pain. The person goes to the doctor and is diagnosed with some internal problem, and they go under the knife for nothing because, in fact, the perps have done it. And there are other cases that are opposed to this because they actually, let me see, they scare people away from the medical profession. And they tell them, oh, we're doing that. Don't bother going to the doctors because we're doing it. And so they keep people away from doctors and they make people scared to go to the medical profession. So that's another thing that they do. So both ways, they try and ruin people through the medical profession. And go ahead.
I can't stop talking because the doctor who wrote my disability letter for federal disability, because this all started at work, and the doctor who eventually decided was trained at Harvard. And all of you guys in the northeast corner of the United States say that Boston is one of the biggest targeted communities, which leads me to believe, and I asked it once over the phone, why is that? And they say it's because, the academia and all the testing facilities are in these big, or not necessarily big, but these research institutes. The scientists work at these large universities that get funding. So I really think that this particular doctor had insight, because on my disability letter, he never wrote anything psychological. Not that I had a psychological problem, but another hospital system kept saying oh, you have a pain in your leg, you need to see a psychiatrist. Oh, your ear hurts, you need to see a psychiatrist. So I think that this one doctor knew or had insight or maybe had met someone previously with these crazy symptoms, because he looked at every medical record through the medical record system, and I had been to many different hospital systems all over the United States trying to figure out, why am I in so much pain? And his unprompted willingness to write me a disability letter that was so honest and summarized my medical conditions. I think he knew, because then I was like, well, where should I go after you? What should I do? I'm still in pain. He's like, there's really nothing. He's like, he dissuaded me from keep going to hospitals. So I think he knew something there, because the other hospital system was like, oh, you have a pain in your leg, you need to go to an OBGYN. Like I'm a hysterical woman. But I've seen it on the flip side where the doctors keep encouraging you to go through the system. Like you just need to go to one more doctor and tell him your problem, and he'll send you in another doctor. But I've discovered along the way that some of the doctors that I saw from the one hospital system that I think is in on it, he was into artificial intelligence. And another doctor who I let give me injections all over my head, supposedly to improve my TMJ and tinnitus. He was a tinnitus pain specialist. He was secretly working with the bad hospital and also doing research for the Department of Defense, which the bad hospital was also doing research for. Things like, when you read the grant, it says things like neuromodulation and mind control, and it's crazy stuff. I mean, I would never have gone to these doctors. So I'm so sorry.
Anymore. I wouldn't go anymore.
No, I haven't, because obviously they've strung me along this whole time, and there is no way that you go to that many doctors and someone doesn't know really what the problem is. They've seen this before, or this is their anticipated result. Because at the beginning, when I had tinnitus, honestly, the bad hospital in Cleveland, they wanted to film me with paid actors, and I refused to sign the film release. And I went through the conference or seminar or whatever it was. I paid out of pocket. That's the other thing. I was so desperate. I paid $300 out of pocket. And I think that fee was for the paid actors. And they were so furious that I refused. They had huge cameras from an outside company come in and film this. Now, why would you do that? And I refused to be filmed because my face was already all messed up and I was in excruciating pain. And the heat from the spot, from the camera light, I was overheating in the back of the room without the camera lights, let alone they wanted to put me in the spotlight and film me. And I have a letter
Excuse
from
me,
them
folks.
saying,
I have to leave the meeting. I have to reboot, go to meeting, because I just lost the screens. Can you hear me?
Yes, yes. So should we stay on or get
Yep.
off?
Stay on. Stay on.
All right. Okay.
I'll log back in.
All right.
well, I don't know, I'm rambling again, but I think some
This is
doctors are good.
mostly, no, that's for another night. We're mostly a technical call.
I'm glad you keep reminding me. I'm just desperate to talk with anyone about what my situation is or may be,
Hey.
so I apologize.